We have many student athletes who are happy to be on a squad, whether it be football or basketball, just to be on the squad. And I know some student athletes who wouldn't. If they're just going to be on the squad and not play, they wouldn't want to go to that institution. Ask yourself, are you looking for an athletic scholarship? At what level do your athletic skills fit? Honestly and realistically, where do you think your skills fit of that junior college, NAIA, Division III, Division II, Division I? Do you want to attend a school close to home? Do you want to go away? City school or country campus? You should try to find that out before you actually make that commitment. Small school, large university. What is the total cost of the education at each institution? The total cost of the incidentals and the travel and all of those things. If you don't receive an athletic scholarship, are there other forms of financial aid for you that you qualify for at that institution? Are you willing to try out for the team as a walk-on? And does that university encourage walk-ons in your sport? You should find that out before you go. Are athletic grants for 1 year only, which is the NCAA rule now, and the presidents are trying to change that, but right now athletic grants are for 1 year only, which means you're not required to give them for more than that. Are they at that school, or is the reputation of that coach and that university is that once you get a scholarship, you're really going to keep it until you graduate, even if you're injured or you don't make the team? You should find that out, because there are some universities that if you get hurt or you're not as good as they thought you were, they'll take the scholarship from you if this rule doesn't pass. Would you be happy at that university if the coach left? So 65 coaches are making $1 million apiece in football. Their chances that they might move around for that are pretty good. You need to find that out. Does the courses and the majors at the university fit your career path? Or are you just going to that school because the coach called you and wanted you to participate in athletics? Do you have ambitions to be a professional Olympic athlete? Because that might be, we've got some coaches here tonight. It might be better to go to those schools and play for them if that's your ambition, and they have a reputation for turning players out to the pros and for Olympics. How many other athletes is the coach recruiting at your position? So if you get up to a school and there's 7 quarterbacks there when you get in there in your freshman year, you might have wanted to know that before you went up there, and you're number 5. Will you be happy at the school if an injury ends your athletic career, which happens to many student athletes, unfortunately? Will you still want to go to that school, pick that school, and graduate from that school? And ultimately, you have to ask yourself these questions. Where am I most happy? Where do I fit? Where am I most comfortable? Where can I be myself? Which institution best advances my career goals? You have to honestly ask yourself this. You will perform much better academically and athletically if you select an institution for the right reasons. The more you find out about a university, the better decision you are likely to make. Now, I did not do all those things when I was in high school, so you learn by your mistakes, and I wish I had, and I had a terrific college career, but I'm just saying to my children, my 3, and to all of you, that's something you should think about. Now, as a student athlete, some of my observations that those years can absolutely be the best years of your life. And for some of us, mark the best 9 or 10 years of our life. Some of it takes a little longer to get out. Lifelong friends, experiences, great fun. You will spend less time in the classroom in college than you do in high school, so there's more free time to devote to your academics and to your sport. I do recommend you specialize in a sport when you get to college. There's not a lot of free time for 2 sport athletes or 3, and there used to be many young men and women that participated 2 or 3, particularly in women's sports, Chris, the AIAW level years ago, and now there's a lot of specialization. So you'll have more time. Student athletes' experience can provide a clear advantage in the working world. A clear advantage. And I was talking to our gymnastics teams, men and women, yesterday, and I told them that they know how to compete. They know how to work with different races and nationalities and people from different parts of the world together for a common cause towards success. They know how to handle adversity, student athletes. They know that they have to play hurt. They have to, when they fall down, they have to get right back up. They know how to face a loss. And all these things help young men and women when they go to apply for a job or have an interview. So I think it's just terrific. Choose a career you love. If you love what you do, you'll never very fortunate to do what I do, very lucky. I know the coaches might say the same thing. There's not any office hours. It's kind of a performance job, and that would be the last thing. And you're very young. I asked my Connor, who's 14, what do you want to do with your life? He says, Dad, I'm 14. What kind of a question is that? And I think, yeah, he is 14. He's thinking about his next meal, and I'm asking him what he wants to do for his career. But if you do what you love, you never work a day. And now, it's my honor to call up Rick Anderson, who you've met before. He's a Radnor parent. He's a moderator for our panel this evening. We look forward to your questions, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Thank you very much, Bill. I very much appreciate the comments, and I hope they resonate with everyone here. What I'd like to do is just bring the rest of the panelists up. I'll introduce each of the panelists. I think you may have one extra page. The next one of the other four panelists is Chris Sale, who's sitting here in front. Chris, you can come on up. Chris is the head women's lacrosse coach at Princeton University. She's been a coach at Princeton for 26 years, guiding the team to 3 NCAA titles and 11 semifinal appearances. I think your seat is at the very far end. 19 NCAA tournament appearances, 9 Ivy League titles. Staggering. She ranked second in active D1 coaches with 314 wins. She was inducted into the U.S. National Hall of Fame in 2008. She's formerly the president of the Intercollegiate Women's Lacrosse Coaches Association and currently serves on that board. She played field hockey and lacrosse for 4 years at Haverford High School and basketball there her senior year. She also played varsity field hockey and lacrosse at Harvard University and was captain of both teams. Chris Saylor. Next, Dave Beccaria? Okay, Coach B. Assistant Athletic Director, a head baseball coach, and admissions liaison, important, at Haverford College. Dave has been the head coach at Haverford College for baseball for 11 years. He's also Assistant Athletic Director and admissions liaison for the athletic department. He's led the baseball program to single-season win records 5 times and as a perennial contender for the Centennial Conference Championship. Most importantly, his 2011 graduates own the distinction of being the winningest class in the history of baseball at Haverford College. He's a 96 graduate from Johns Hopkins, where he was third baseman and captain for the Blue Jays. Many of you may know that Johns Hopkins is quite a lacrosse school, yet they had a very, very competitive top 20 baseball team every year, which Dave was a part of. In '97, he served as Hopkins junior varsity head coach and varsity assistants coach while earning his master's degree in liberal arts. He lives here in Springfield with his wife Susie and his daughter Avery. And then finally, Jack Childs. Jack is recently retired head wrestling coach for Drexel University. He was head wrestling coach at Drexel for 35 years, 422 Division I coaching victories, the most among active D1 coaches. He's the active leader in all-time wins at all levels of NCAA competition with 511 victories. He's in the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, Pennsylvania Wrestling Hall of Fame. He graduated from East Stroudsburg, where he won 3 letters competing in wrestling, football, and track. He earned a master's degree from Cortland State. And again, Jack lives here in Wayne, Pennsylvania with his wife Ann. They have 2 boys and a daughter who all graduated from Radnor and who were multi-sport athletes in high school and went on to compete at Drexel in their favorite sports. So if you're catching a little drift here of a theme about multiple sports, I think it's probably becoming very clear, and it's an important message that we are trying to deliver tonight. So what we'll do is I'm going to just ask the panel a set of questions to get things started. We'll see how things go, and then we'll come back to the audience, and if you all don't have questions, I'll have others. So if I could, I'm going to start with Chris, and this is a question for everybody. You can each take a shot at it. If you don't have anything to add, panel, then please feel free to just pass. Chris, could you comment on some common misconceptions about the participation in college athletics from a student or a parent perspective?
Okay, I'd say first from a student perspective, I think oftentimes kids will feel that they're not going to have enough time in college to play their sport, that college is going to be really demanding and that sports take a lot of time, which is true. But one point that Bill made earlier is that your class day in college is so much different than it is in high school. You might be in class for 1 hour a day, for 3 hours a day, for 2 hours a day. We have kids, most all of our kids don't even have class on Fridays. So there is really a lot more time than you think. And I think some kids shy away from trying out for a team or really thinking about playing at the next level because they think they're not going to have enough time to do everything that they want to do. And I would just really encourage all of you who have any interest to give it a go, because it really will be a highlight of your college career if you are fortunate enough to be able to play sports at the next level. So that's one thing. I think maybe we'll go down the panel and we'll add as we go. How does that sound? Good?
I think that you have to realize as parents and student athletes have to realize also that there's an area for you academically as well as athletically. You don't have to, everybody has the idea that you have to go Division I, you have to be in Big Ten, you have to go to the Ivy League, and but there's a place for everybody out there. It's just what fits you best. And don't overestimate, but don't underestimate your ability either. It's a big commitment on your part. And also for the parents, it's a big commitment on your part as well. There's other questions we're going to get into later. I'm not going to expound on that anymore. But I told my guys that you either want to wrestle or you don't. It's not that you can't. So I think that's the way with every sport, that you have the ability. Don't misuse it and don't lose it, because those 4 years, 5 years that you're in school, they go very quickly.
Terrific, thanks, Jack. Dave, anything to add?
I think Bill talked a little bit about one aspect of Division I sports, about how it can be a big business, but I think the reality is that there are a lot of amazing athletic opportunities at the college level, and there are very few scholarships to actually go around. Outside of football and basketball, there's not a ton of money out there for students, and that doesn't mean that you're going to have a lesser college experience if you're not a scholarship player. At the Division III level, we feel like we run a very competitive program, a national program, and our student athletes feel like they have a rewarding experience. And ultimately, I think when you're looking at schools, you need to find out what's going to be the best fit for you, what's going to allow you to enjoy your sport, to enjoy your academics, and to enjoy your social experience, and be able to open your mind and look far and wide, because I think sometimes there's a little bit of tunnel focus with what kind of opportunities are out there for everyone.
Great.
I echo everything the panel said, and I would just add this. A misconception would be that your experience at the high school level, both athletically and academically, automatically translates into how you're going to do in college. It's a tremendous misconception both ways. I saw a young man come into LaSalle when I was 80, and no one recruited him for basketball. Not one person recruited in the city of Philadelphia. He was probably only seen by 340 coaches 5 times a week because the player he was with was the player of the year. His name was Ralph Lewis. He walked down at LaSalle. Not only did he make the team, he made the team. He started halfway through his first year, became the most valuable player in the Big Five, and signed a pro contract with the Detroit Pistons and played 5 years. Now I've seen it on the other end too, where there were 5-star athletes, and I'm sure our coaches have seen this, can't miss, had everything going for them, great athletes, and somehow they felt that translated into that at the next level, and sort of didn't come with that right attitude and never ever achieved academically and athletically. So I would just say that to all the young men and women who maybe aren't being recruited and nobody's paying attention, or you struggled in school but you work hard and you get into school, you can achieve tremendously. Don't let anybody tell you you can't.